Get my guns. How do I get the money to get my guns? They're expensive. We're hardly making it into the Ad-pocalypse still. People are hardly making any money. Like, they're making money, but by the time they pay their rent, get their food, they don't have a gun. Well, I worked hard enough that a company in the United States gifted me the money to be able to buy my firearms. Yes, even during the Ad-pocalypse. Because you said, well, you could go to the store and you could buy like if I go to Cabela's or something, I can find a firearm for $500. But like I said, by the time they pay their rent and then they pay for the food that they're mukbanging with, and they don't have $500 to buy a brand new gun. That's a lot of money, $500. I think it should be higher, still higher amount. I should think it should still be higher than that. Like, look at this. You can get a bolt-action rifle, the same one Phil Thompson used to kill one of the corrupt police here in Canada, featured in Stack Simile, for $459.99. Should be a little bit higher, though. It should be $1,000. Should even be $1,200 or $1,500, $1,600 for just one of these. Yeah, just one of these bolt action, these very powerful bolt action. The company's going to make more money for the sale. Somebody that wants to buy these is going to pay the $1,600 more often than they're even going to pay the $459. So with the cheap prices comes the stockpiling. Something we don't want is stockpiling. Why is he belching a little bit? Well, I just had these Pringles salt and vinegar, and it doesn't sound like Pringles salt and vinegar because, well, they got crushed on their way from Amazon, but that's all right. Pringles. So look at the actual company or the animated images while I eat these. Man, they're good. The can of Pringles I have, it doesn't have a head of hair on it. He's completely bald, eh? Man, they're good. They got some good flavors too. They're made from dried potatoes, whereas others are kettle cooked in oil. And the rather and all that. Where these ones are, I don't know. I think they bake a dried potato chip. I'm not sure. Mm, mm, mm. I'm gonna have to do a video. I'm gonna have to do a video of what I just did. Now this isn't something I should be recommending. Only by a trained professional could you eat as many Pringles as I just ate. But they stack up. You can eat them one by one, but I just got in the mood. I ate probably about this many, all stacked up. Don't eat that many. I don't recommend eating that many. Look at this. Pringles. They're for women too. Children, but watch how many they stack. One chip at a time for a child, I believe. When they're older, they can start stacking them up. Because they're pretty sharp as well. They're pretty sharp as well. I guess, yeah, Canadians are smart, so are Americans. We live on the same continent, and we were supposed to be a unified continent under NORAD. So Canada's no better than U.S., and U.S. is no better than Canada. That rhetoric's got to stop. How do they make Pringles? How do they make them? How do they make them? Well, unfortunately, I'm using an ad blocker. I won't be able to see how they made them. Hold on. I don't recommend using that Ad Block Plus. You don't get the full experience. How Pringles are made. Are they baked or what? I don't want to see any of these political things.
To make stackable chips,
argument
of 1/3 water to 2/3 potato flakes with a little cornstarch mixed in. A conveyor delivers the mix to an auger, which disperses it. Using 4 tons of pressure, they roll the mix into one long potato sheet. A rotary cutter punches out oval shapes. A device pulls away the scrap dough, leaving flat, uncooked chips. The scrap dough is recycled into the chip-making process. The cut chips head into a fryer.
Don't worry. More customers are coming. Helicopter? No, they're at school, learning, coming up with ideas to buy Pringles.
As they travel through the fryer, rolling molds give the chips a concave shape. This shape makes them easy to stack. The chips spend 11 seconds frying in hot oil. This makes them crispy. They travel under blowers to get rid of excess oil. The chips get a coat of seasoning, then do a backflip off one conveyor onto another, falling in neat piles. A worker inspects the rows of chips. Then it's onto another conveyor that shakes them up to loosen the stacks. They travel over scales to be portioned out for packaging. Automated spoons feed the chips into the opened ends of the tubes. Guides tap the top of the tubes to nudge the chips into position.
What a coincidence. Stacks is the guy that showed you how the stacks of Pringles were made. Chatter Mobile, what a coincidence as well. That is my mobile network here in Canada that I pay for. KD, it used to be my favorite. So I see where we're at here too, for me. KD, unfortunately, I don't eat it anymore, but man, there were some years, that was my favorite thing, was to get a jug of milk, some Kraft dinner, and then sometimes you even paired it with some stuff. Somebody said they love to put ground beef in it. Beef. Let's get off the chips for a minute. I had enough. Kraft dinner. It's what a lot of the families start out with here in Canada. ED. Kids. Then when you get older, you start to make good Kraft dinner meals like, how about a little ground beef in with your Kraft dinner? When I was a kid, it was hot dogs, right? Because hot dogs are the cheap thing, but they're not very good for you, hot dogs. Cheesy macaroni and beef skillet recipe. You know, you grow up with the KD, Kraft. We would see all these, the Kraft Canada cooking. Anyways, I did. That's more appropriate.